Over what exactly your role is in the youth offending?
Yeah, I'm one of the operations managers. There's 3 of us, and there's also a lead YOS manager that oversees the whole service. My role is to manage different aspects of the youth offending team, youth inclusion support programme, intensive supervision and surveillance programme, parenting, and the general day-to-day running of core YOS work.
And how long have you been involved in this?
I've been at the youth offending team since November 2000. I started as a part-time youth worker, and I've gradually kind of worked through my worked through the many things that's in the youth offending service, and now I'm operations manager.
So in the almost 10 years, have you seen a lot of changes?
There's a lot of changes within cycles of actual offending with young people to what they started off when I started here. It was kind of general crimes, and now we're looking at the more serious knife crime, gun crime, etc. So there's some changes with that, changes with legislation. ISSP, for instance, the intensive supervision surveillance programme, kind of coming about 5 or 6 years ago to target the most prolific young offenders. That was a new initiative that come through. So yeah, there's been changes in the way that programmes work, kind of cultures of crime, cultures of young people.
One of the things we hope to cover in the future is some of the community payback schemes.
Yep.
We've seen it out in homesteads, we've seen it out in Chafford 100. How's that working?
That's working really well. I mean, we've got some really good links with counsellors at the moment who they tend to. We've got he's a reparation worker come support worker really, Paul. They'll get in contact and say we've got quite a lot of rubbish in this park, can you come and clear it up? And basically what happens is young people who are in court will get so many hours of reparation work that they have to pay back to the community, and those are the young people that will go and do that work. So it's various. We've done graffiti cleaning, we've done clearing up at the homesteads, kind of some of the residential care homes that needs repainting, anything and everything really that we can do that doesn't obviously infringe young people health and safety wise.
What do you think the general public expect to see from the punishment stroke rehabilitation of young people?
It's quite interesting actually, because there's been some ideas on the radio recently about young people community payback and how they want them to wear yellow jackets so that people in the community can see that they're from youth offending, and I don't think they want to see that at all, to be honest. I think they want to know that young people are paying back to the community. The more we can get those young people to do it in the area they've committed the crime, the better, or to a said victim. Personally, in my own community, I wouldn't want to see a group of young people walking around knowing that they were from youth offending and being, I don't know, kind of stigmatised, if you like, and people I would imagine people walking along thinking, we don't want to go near them, we don't want to talk to them. And I think if you just do it in in a general friendly way, it makes it a lot better. And I know that some of the young people that have worked on homesteads, etc., the community actually come out and help. They talk to the young people. It makes it a lot easier, even though they still know where they're from, but they're not, kind of so bright in the street that these young people are young offenders.
So you would say the idea of putting jackets on people is basically as we go to the 1930s in America, the chain gang.
Yeah.
And then you would say, well, how far have we come in 90 years and we are to be nowhere?
Yeah.
Friday morning. This is a Friday morning, and the youth courts are in operation on Friday morning. Do you have a good working relationship with the judge and the other agencies there?
Yeah, I mean we've built up the relationship with the youth court for many years, obviously now, and we'll have kind of rolling. We'll have a judge there 1 week and then 2 weeks, and it'll be magistrates. The court team we've got a good relationship with the cells, so if young people are down there and they're getting upset, etc., they'll give us a call, we can go down and help that out. I think it's a lot of work with youth courts, but because you have got such a good relationship with them, it's a lot easier to work with, and it's a lot easier to advise, if you like. If they're kind of looking for some advice on a certain young person, they will take that advice from us because we've got that relationship with them, which makes things a lot easier rather than just kind of ignoring, I suppose.
So I don't know if you can comment, but I've been there many times, and first time I ever went, people told me about Judge Cooper, the sort of hanging judge. Whereas I thought he had quite a good interpersonal skills with the young people.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, I haven't been in court for quite a while now, but a couple of times I've been in with Judge Cooper. Yeah, I mean, he talks to young people, I think it may seem harsh sometimes with his sentencing, but he does actually talk to them, ask them questions, and he wants to know why they've done what they've done, and he wants to know how they feel about it, which I think is a really good thing. I think it helps a young person think then about, why did I actually do this, and what's going to be my sentence for this.
So in your job, what would you say? What do you gauge as success?
Me personally,
Yeah,
I was in youth offending. Okay, me personally is, obviously again my background is youth work. So for me, even though yes, these young people have committed crimes, yes, we have to see them through their orders, but just to see them grow, to see them get some confidence. It might not mean obviously to reduce crime and the fact that we don't want them to commit crime again, but just to kind of build them up and build relationships with them and see that there are people that care about them, give them new experiences. Some of these young people we work with, I think we just kind of discussed, haven't even been to the pictures in their life. They haven't stepped outside of graves. So for me to give them all the new experiences, as well as going along the fact that it is kind of, your consequences of your offending is that you may not be able to do this, you may not be able to do this, and just build their whole motivation, I think, and self-esteem and confidence, and because they haven't got a lot of that sometimes when they come out. Not every young person, don't get me wrong, there are young people that come that just commit one crime, made a mistake, perfectly fine, school's fine, home's fine, everything's fine, and that's it. But there are other young people that I think need a bit more input and a bit more support, and not just seen as